Good morning and welcome to another SaTAROTday with Salon. I am really excited this week to see what has changed from last week's really strong read. So let's get started. So today I am actually going to use the Light Visions Tarot. So the Light Visions Tarot is a tarot deck by James Eads. If you have not seen or used any of James's decks, once you see this one, a lot of them are very similar in their style, but there's different imagery and different processes, and I just find that they're absolutely stunning. They speak very, very well, and I'm really excited to be using this deck. I don't use it very much, but I should. So I'm going to use it today and see what we get. Now, I think I'm going to do a pull at the end, or a clarification card, as it will, from the Star Codes Astro. I don't know why I'm showing this because I'll post it up. Really good, extra energy to pull, kind of see where we are with things. Hopefully you can hear the background music. I know last week you couldn't. I don't know how it sounds because it's coming through my speakers until I actually go into editing. But we'll try it again. It's the same style of music, and the same person actually. Herknungr. I say Herknungr. I don't know if that's correct. But it's great music. It's really meditative for me. It's very comfortable. So if you like it, please make sure you go check out that YouTube channel. I do not know that individual. I do not have any real interactions with that individual, but I will recommend that you donate if you like, because people making art for us and music that we can use for things like this, you should, in my opinion. So I do since I use some of the stuff live and it's permission free, there's no copyright, it doesn't do any of the copyright stuff, I feel kind of not obligated but appropriate that we should be donating and kind of paying for that creativity to give that. But anyway, so that's the music in the background, and if you hear it, I hope you do. It's really good. I use it a lot to meditate. It's got some beats and changes that are really helpful to me. So anywho, we're going to get started because I am excited about this James Eads deck. Now, I do want to kind of bring up a little bit. I know last week we did a lot of cards that really were pulling at what we need to work on, as we usually do, but the focus really was on kind of like that hard self-facing process that we need to work on. Now, as you know, and I've said this in the last couple of streams that we've done and in a couple of the tarots, that we are really doing dedicated specific shadow work, right? And so we're doing shadow work both from the psychological standpoint, the Jungian standpoint, and from the tarot and spiritual standpoint. And we're going to be vlogging kind of our process and what Rick and I have experienced through that and what we're learning using one of the books. So because of that, I recognize that's going to seep into my tarot reads, right? So I always meditate before doing any kind of tarot or spiritual work, mostly just to get myself back, on balance and make sure that I'm connecting to what I call, as many do, the web. I'm connecting and I'm plucking the strings to make sure that on the other end that my vibrations are connected there. And as I do that, I read, and as we read, without any capability of being anything but human in this current status that I'm in, those things will bleed into the read, there's no doubt. So a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy, I think, sometimes, but I just want to mention that you will see that there's probably going to be more shadow stuff in some of the reads that I do while Rook and I are on this journey together, because, well, that's what humans do, right? We work on things, and then those things change and adjust in our lives, and we adapt. Now, I do believe that the message is going to be still a universal message. I still feel connected more than ever to whatever the source is that we are working within and the energies that we're in. So that's another positive thing for me. That connection is stronger than I've ever felt it before, and I really think that the whole idea is really the same. It's just I kind of wanted to share that because it's a thing. As we do tarot stuff, divination stuff, actually is what I should say, is we do divination stuff, including tarot, pendulum. Those things are going to be affected by you as a human being. And if you know anything about psychology, which really was my first love of science, right? Actually, that's a little bit of a lie. Let's be fully honest. My original and first and most beloved desire was marine biology. When I got into college, that was my initial chosen degree, right? I was like marine biology all the way. And then I got really interested in psychology, so I switched over to psychology. And unfortunately, in the area where I lived, they didn't have any psychology professors. Like, it was really hard to get classes. So I did complete quite a few, if not almost all of the classes for my bachelor's in psychology. I think I was like 3 prereqs, actually short, because I did it weird. I didn't do like the statistics and the other one, so I never graduated with that degree. And then I ended up doing other life things for a while, and then went back and got my bachelor's in nursing and did the whole nursing thing. So and all that. But the point of that story is I love the Jungian and psychological aspects of working in spirit, shadow, and merging those things together. And I think that that's very fun. And I'm hoping that that will show more as I start going back into dealing with those learnings and taking courses again and things like that. But anywho, enough about me. This isn't about my life story. This is supposed to be SaTAROTday, quick tarot. My life stories and all that stuff, we'll share that on our stream. So let's talk about this. This Light Visions Tarot. So Light Visions Tarot, again by James Eads. There are more than just Light Visions. He also has the Prisma Visions, beautiful deck, and the Cosma Visions Oracle. Also, he has like the little mini decks, which I love to death. They're freaking awesome. And he also has a Lenormand deck, and I can't remember what it's actually called. I think I have it here somewhere. I'll look for it, but he has a Lenormand deck too, which is probably the one I'm going to use to try to learn Lenormand for myself, because that's not a system that I know very well yet. I've only dabbled a little bit. But the cards are beautiful, and one of the things that I really love is in the Light Visions Tarot, we're really monochromatic. So we've got like this burgundy wine background with this almost white but not quite almondy eggshell colored front, right? Alternating or contrasting color. And that just creates the idea, for me anyway, of the here and the void, or the present and the not present, the in and the out, the up and the down, as within, so without, as above, so below. And that's one of the things I really love about monochromatics. And the other decks, there are colors in them and they're different, but that monochromatic and the monochromaticity in the deck here, Light Visions Tarot, is amazing. It's very helpful to me. Also, what I really enjoy is each of the cards that are in the Minor Arcana are borderless, so you can kind of go across and see lots and lots of different storylines that you can either line up to learn. So you line up all of one Minor Arcana to learn that Minor Arcana story, or you kind of piece together the meanings between them as you go. Like, you side them, put them up side to side without the borders, and that can really help give you some insight into some of the things that you're seeing. So I just really, really, really enjoy the way that works. I'm also really trying, as you can see, to get my lighting just right, because I don't know if I've ever really gotten my lighting proper by using the computer screens actually instead of ring lights and stuff to kind of help with getting a good look. So I'm really going to try to work on that for all of you. But anyway, let's get started and pull some cards, right? We're way into this, and I am very talky today. Of course, as always, meditated, pre-shuffled as we were getting ready. And then as we were talking, we threw a couple of extra shuffles in there. So let's go ahead and see where we are. I think we're in a good spot to get pulling a couple cards. All right, so we have the Six of Wands. We now have the Three of Chalices. And we have Temperance. So, we got some good cards here, right? Now, I do want to go back and kind of mention how I do my reads. There's 3 card draws specifically. There's 1 card, 2 card, 3 cards, probably a draw for every single number of cards there are. And actually there are 78 card draws. The Ocean Tarot, or the Ocean Layout, is one that comes to mind, and that is a really great way to get a life story in a multi-read. But I generally, for these energies, I do 3 card draws, right? And those 3 card draws are really focused on energy shifts and things that are going on for the collective. So what I hope we accomplish with these 3 cards isn't necessarily past, present, and future, or mind, body, spirit, or you can also look at it as land, sea, and air, from the Druidic perspective, or it would be air, water, earth for your, like maybe a Celtic kind of version, and then fire would be the activity of it all. But I do it really just kind of blank. It's whatever it actually comes and means through on these readings. I do my like private readings are a little more specific. Like I would do a very specific draw, or a 10 card Celtic cross style draw, or the palm draw, which is one something that Rook and I have made and works very well for us. But the reason I bring that up is because as I go through these cards, you can apply past, present, future if you're a reader and it feels good to you and it makes sense. You should. I may say it sometimes, but it's not always just past, present, and future. The other thing, when I read for a group or for a large amount of people, or for unknown people, the past, present, and future has time limits on it. So your past would be, like 6 months ago-ish. More than that, probably. Less than that, not as likely, because that would be more your present. So present for me is within the past 6 months up to 6 months in the future, actually. That's the present time frame. And then the future time frame for me is really 6 months and out. Now, all of those mixed together, depending on the cards, right? So I just want to kind of point out some of those things as we're going. If you like the style of reads that I do and you want to learn a little bit of how I do them and incorporate some, great. And if you don't like it, then it's even more helpful, because then well, I really don't like that. I need a set piece. I need something specific. A lot of people only use specific cards to tell time, which makes complete sense too. I don't. I use all the cards to kind of tell the times of things. Like if you're talking about the Chariot as one of your first cards, then you're talking about moving fast, right? The Chariot is not going to be going very slow most times. It's going really fast. Hierophant or Hermit, both of those cards are going to be slow. You're in 13 years of school, right? Kindergarten through 12th grade, and then you have college. The Hierophant teaches. Those things are lifelong events. They're slower. They take more time. The Hermit is retreating. He's slower. So those things are going to take more time. So longer time frames are represented there. So it just depends on your perspective. But just a couple of thoughts in tarot that could work for you. But remember, there's no, to me, and some people get frustrated when I say this, but there's no right or wrong way to do tarot or any of this stuff, because it is your life that you have to work through. Traditions are great. They're important. I like them. I incorporate them. But they shouldn't be used as fodder for hate, or making somebody else not feel right about what they're doing that works for them. That's just always how it has to be for me to be safe. Let's talk about our cards, right? And I apologize, I've been kind of all over the place today, because I really am just feeling super talkative, super let's do stuff and whatever, anyhow. So really, your Six of Wands gives you a little bit of information about positivity, really. We're talking about all this shadow work, and last week we had some homework to do, and I was even late doing it. Like, that's just part of the whole process. I was late getting tarot out, but right now we're seeing some recognition here. We're seeing some really good achievements in the public sphere of things. This doesn't mean that it's like you're going to get an award, or you're an Ergo now, right? You've got your Emmy, or I forgot what those things are even in. Grammy, Oscar, Tony, I think, Ego, Ergo, whatever. I forgot what the R was. Anyway, it's about success, right? So the Six of Wands being a creative and a fire force card, mean that you're doing something right in the public sphere. Whatever it is that you maybe are offering in your public-facing self, it's working. It's right. Your self-confidence is boosted. You feel good about what's happening to you. And we all should, because we're all working very hard, and things are starting to get to a place where we can be a little more positive about it. So this is a self-confidence card, but it's in the public arena. And what I mean by public, when I say like the public arena, this isn't like standing at a podium in front of people. I'm just talking about your public-facing self, like the part of you that's out and about, maybe out in the social networks that you're in, or work networks that you're in, or any of that stuff. And I find that it's really important to look at that process of enjoyment in yourself, and that feeling of I'm moving properly, I'm moving into that front, and people are noticing, and it's progress, it's good, it works, it's something for you that goes towards a very good and meaningful area. So the Six of Wands is a very very good, I don't want to say omen, it's a very good predictor of we are going in the right direction. Now, if you're looking at this as like the past, present, and future, it's going to say maybe you're coming from a place of having recognition, or recently you've done something that's been recognized from people that are in your circle or around you, or maybe even actually publicly, like writing a book or something. I don't see that with the rest of the cards, but that's really the kind of idea that you're thinking about if you're using that perspective. And so, very important to kind of just recognize and realize that this is a good place for you from a public-facing point. And we go on to the Three of Chalices, which we've pulled in a couple of other readings recently. And, chalices are our emotions. They represent more than that, though. That's just kind of the limit. It is all of the warm and fuzzies, but also the cold and desperate and just terrible nights and things that all go together to make up our emotional human being and our emotional intelligence. So the Three of Chalices goes right along with the Six of Wands, and it basically is saying, let's go forward, let's celebrate, let's go out and do the thing, let's have the night out on the town. This is ladies' night, where you just go out and you work together and have things that are grown and joyful and begetting of friendship. The Three of Chalices works with the Six of Wands so well, because the Six of Wands is all about that recognition. So this almost is kind of saying, like, you've been working with a team of people and you've been working your freaking ass off, and now you deserve to go out and party and have a celebration about how wonderful things are. And that is going to help continue build upon the part of your life that is positive, that is emotional and platonic. You really want to make sure that when you do that, you're looking through the lens of not like the party, but just the being of together with friends. And the Three of Chalices, Three of Cups, it's generally a card about friendship. It really is about that, pulling together and going up. When I couple that with your Six of Wands that's coming up here, this is where I'm getting, this is a group effort, a big thing. We all need to go out and celebrate just the positives and the things that have done very well. We need to identify and talk about and hold steady and present those things that aren't that great, and we should work through them, and we can. But this is about the positivity side of it. If you ever pulled the Three of Chalices in your card, it's really like, you know what? If my friend asked me to go out to dinner, I should go. We need that contact. We really should go. So then our third card is Temperance. And Temperance is probably one of my favorite cards, and I think I'm probably going to eventually say that's my favorite card to every card that is in the tarot. But the Temperance really is one of my favorites, and it's because the first thing you see on the card, if you look at it, is this balance of intertwining. So in the light visions, but it's a similar in most cards. A traditional deck usually has somebody, a female, holding the chalice, or some kind of container, and is either pouring it out, and it's a representation of the never-ending pouring of that, or she's going back and forth, keeping it balanced and kind of going back and forth. And so the first meaning would be balance. Now, I think it's important that we recognize that temperance and balance are not the same thing, nor is it the same as justice, nor is it the same as judgment. Now, all of those things speak to and of a type of balance, but they're different. Justice isn't balance. Justice is more of an equity of balance, right? Like, I think many of you have seen the picture where there's the three kids, they're standing at a fence trying to look over the fence. One is way too short, one is tall and can see right over, and one is just barely able to see on their tippy toes, but it's really uncomfortable looking, and they all get a square box to stand on. Well, the short one still can't see, the middle one can, and then the tall one is way tall. And then that's the balance. But justice is they each get the size of box that they need to see over. So the tall doesn't get anything. And that doesn't seem fair, but the goal is to see over the fence, right? So the middle height person gets a smaller box, and then the short person gets the bigger box, so that they can all see over and enjoy whatever it is they're watching on the other side of that fence. I think it was they use like a race or something, but that's justice. Temperance is not that. Temperance is active. Temperance is having a purposeful, meaningful, directed balance. And so it's different than just like things are in balance. Think the body in homeostasis. Your body is constantly adjusting to keep itself in homeostasis, which is the balance that requires life. The pH of blood, for example, is 7.35 to 7.45, not 7. 7 would be the balance. 7.35 to 7.45 is high, a little bit higher than very minimally alkaline. And if it goes outside of that range, we get sick, and your body's constantly bringing things into the cells, putting things out of the cells. You're urinating, defecating, all those fun things. And your body is actively, purposefully making changes and pouring from one cup to another to keep all of that in balance. 98.6 degrees, how do you think we stay 98.6 degrees as a temperature when we are outside and it's 20 degrees out or 120 degrees out? Well, your body's fighting, you're sweating, you're making all of these changes. That is temperance. Temperance is that active movement of balance to keep things where they need to be, not necessarily perfectly equal. So for us, what does temperance mean? And what does it mean in this energy field? So this is a very incredibly mellow energy this week compared to last week, compared to the last couple of weeks, actually. And I will be honest, I feel it. I'm energized today. I feel good and better than I felt in a long time, just as a general feeling. So it makes sense that this is a much more mellow read, and I feel that way. I feel it, and I think the universe is telling us to let our hair down. Let's embrace the good and all of the things that we've enjoyed and that have been positive. Let's not forget with temperance the negative and the things that we hold that are difficult or the shadow, but we can talk about those and we can move through those, which, by the way, we are actually dedicated to doing right now. Walk through them and move with them together, and then spend that time with your friends and go out and have this, release and really camaraderie growth with your friends, and then be temperate when you're doing that, and use your things to be balanced while we're doing this over the next few weeks. This next few weeks to me would not be a week where I want to go create new systems or do massive like trainings and book writing, massive art projects. We've done that. Now let's say, oh, I did that. It's beautiful. Sorry, there's a dog walking by my front window. And my dog's not actually reacting, which is, I guess you can't see. It's laying down. But anyway, we've done the massive creativity. We've been doing the massive creativity. We need a break. So take it and say, look, we did amazing. Friends, let's go have a lunch. Let's go drink. Let's go have a little bit of time out together. Thank you. And enjoy each other's company. And then let's move forward with an air and a feeling of that temperance, of balancing things to a place where they're comfortable and appropriate. So that's the main read this week. That's really what we're feeling. They're feeling a much more mellow and positive message than we have in the last couple of weeks. And so just for keeping my word, I'm going to pull a clarifying card, just one, even though I don't feel like we really even need clarification. This is a pretty simple, straightforward read. You done good. Keep your stuff that you feel bad about in your face so that you can work on it and use it to the positive. Work out, lay your hair down with your friends, enjoy your friends, be with your friends, have fun with your friends, grow with your friends, and be temperate, or temper your everything for the next week. Just try to even keel it. So our Star Code's Astro Oracle has now pulled the Dignified card, which is strength. And so with the I don't know why I have such a hard time saying Star Code's Astro. Like, it's a lot. But the Star Code's Astro is the card of strength in the, what do you call this thing? Oracle. And it's really, this one is really about not strength as in muscle, but in strength of voice, strength of thought, and strength of choosing and running and going with whatever it is, right? So when we use dignified strength and not just strength and not just being dignified, we're talking about that again, and this goes along with the read of we've created positivity. We are ready to be that public facing acknowledgement is there. It's good. It's recent, but past, but recent. And our Three of Chalices with our friends and our temperance of our energy going into the next week or two. Our dignified strength is again, it's a tempered strength, right? So think about it. Strong arm is going to go out and lift the big box. Dignified strength is those things, or are those things like the 7 in the tarot, right? The strength of the tarot. It's that kindness through strength. It's that dignified, I'm here for you. You have my shoulder. I don't have a whole lot to give, but here are my hands because you need them more, and I will help you. So our dignified strength is all about challenging ourselves to, through all the things that we're doing, to be helpful to our friends and to be strong for those around us and help them as well. So we have that capability right now. So I love the idea of dignified strength, and I love that it's the number 13 card, and I love like kind of our numbers here are really engaging. We have the action and movement and alignment or connection of the 6s. We've got the groupings and the exploration of the 3s. We've got the major system of the major arcana, right? And then if we call the strength the 7, it's back to that, that inquiry or that tempered strength, dignified strength. So, summary for the week: go out with your friends if you feel like it. Nobody has to do anything. But it is a good time to go out and celebrate with the friends, especially those friends that you have been working with recently on projects or things, no matter how big or small they are, and they have been good and outcome well, and they've been positive for you. Use temperance as we go into the week. Don't think about everything being perfect, but think about having things as even as they can be, as mellowed and appropriate as they can be, because this will pay out for you in the end. And then do all of this with a dignified strength of I'm here, I'm present. I don't have to have the strong arm, but what I am going to do is offer what I do have in strength, whether that's emotional strength, kind strength, the dignity of strength to support a friend, or following the process, or being a little bit more humble. So I hope this read resonates with you. It certainly does for me, and it resonates in hopefully a positive way that will help you through the next couple of weeks. Remember the time frames. We do a weekly tarot, but these energies go well before and outside of a week's time frame, and they're beneficial and hopefully helpful in a way that gives you some suffice. I have no clue what that means. It gives you some just comfort is probably the best word there. But yeah, so if you do have any comments, please make sure you put them down below. Let me know what you think about the read. If you agree, if your reads are kind of similar or completely different, maybe you're doing a weekly read and you got the exact opposite. I want to hear about it. I want to know how these energies work together from our different lives. I think it's amazing stuff. If you really enjoyed this particular video like that, we do these every week, and if you want to see them every week, then subscribe, and you might get a notification that tells you we are posting. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and blessed be.